Hello everyone! Welcome to my second part of Shadowlands Mistweaver Monk PvE guide series. In this episode we'll go through every performance related talent, legendary and conduit choice, as well as talk about our raid healing rotation. If you're interested in Mistweaving though, there will be whole another video about that playstyle as well. Mistweaving is somewhat dependent on your knowledge about the fight. It rewards knowing exact timers and preparation. It is less versatile but more methodical choice than Mistweaving. It is supported by legendaries and talents rather than based around them like its counterpart. Its goal is same as every healer: finish the fight with no mana left while being assured it was spent efficiently. The catch is, this playstyle is not forgiving at all in that matter. When it comes to stats, it's pretty simple. You are fine with just going for item level and avoiding mastery if you are able to. Either crit or versatility can be considered best in slot, but having some haste will come in handy as well. Mastery increases your healing only when casting single target spells, so it isn't as useful. In level 15 row, we have two viable Mistweaving talents, Mist Rob and Chi Burst. First one is more dependent on legendary you are using, namely Tear of Morning. I'm mentioning it since Mistweaving build has two viable legendary picks, but more on that later. Longer enveloping mists may seem not viable in raids, but you need to consider that it also extends the duration of your enveloping breath during celestial windows. Chi Burst on the other hand is just straight up powerful mana free AoE heal that is very easy to use. Chi Wave is not even worth looking at though. On to level 30 row, which is our mana conservation pick. For Mistweaving, mana tea is pretty much mandatory. We won't have as much melee uptime to make use out of Spirit of the Crane, and we don't cast enough enveloping mist and vivifies to make use out of life cycles. On level 45 row, we again choose performance focused talent. While Jade Serpent Statue and Chiji are useful in dungeons, Refreshing Jade Wind is too powerful not to choose it. From my experience, it's pretty much always my top healing ability on raid encounters. Level 50 does not leave us too much of a choice neither. Rising Mist is clearly made for Mistweaving build, and Focused Thunder isn't impactful enough. Upwelling benefits from our playstyle focused around saving our big AoE heals and cooldowns for particular timings. As previously mentioned, we have two main options here. First one being Tear of Morning. Besides transferring your enveloping mist healing to allies with renewing mist, it doesn't do anything special. 10% chance of spreading additional renewing mist is hardly noticeable. It's used pretty much only as flat percent boost to your Vivify and renewing mist healing. Second one is Invoker's Delight. It is as simple as it's strong, granting you 33% haste for 20 seconds after invoking your Celestial. It allows you to fit even more spells into your mana tea window, which makes your whole Celestial combo even more of a powerhouse. We have two main conduits to consider here, either Jade Bond or Resplendent Mist. They work very similarly. One trades bigger mastery boost for cooldown reduction on your Celestial. My personal pick here is Resplendent Mist due to fixed Celestial cooldown. When it comes to trinkets, ideally we want one on-use stat boost trinket and one with good passive effect. Our options for on-use are the following: Inscrutable Quantum Device from the other side, Soul-Letting Ruby from Theater of Pain, or on-use PvP trinkets. You should use them in combination with your Celestial. I recommend to just make macro like this one shown on screen. Just replace Soul-Letting Ruby with your trinket's name. Quick note about just mentioned Ruby: you need to use it on enemy target, ideally one with low health, so I recommend using this macro and targeting one manually. As for passive effects trinkets, we have Unbound Changeling from Mist of Tirna Scythe, Kabbalist Hymnal from Sire Denathrius, or again PvP trinkets. First of all, we are not bound to melee, although we still prefer to be there if possible. We don't have mana to spam heal during downtime, so we'll just deal melee damage. Besides dealing damage, we want to keep at least one charge of renewing mist on cooldown. Our overall healing ability priority when group damage is happening is following: Cast Chi Burst on cooldown, Maintain Refreshing Jade Wind. Cast ideally fully upwelling stacked Essence Font. If some party members still require healing, cast Vivify or alternatively Enveloping Mist in case of heavy dots. Sustain your Renewing Mists. Our Thunder Focus tea should be used primarily with Renewing Mist or Vivify if there's spot healing required. Don't force every tea into Vivify though. It may seem like stonks mana managing, but in reality you just may cast worthless, overhealing Vivifies. When it comes to mana tea usage, we use it in two ways. We want it up on every Yulon window. We can fit 4 Enveloping Mists and 1 Essence Font during it. Considering that tea is on 1.5 minute cooldown, and Yulon is on 3 minute cooldown, we must use tea once between our celestial windows in order to be efficient. If you use it then, you ideally must have 2 Renewing Mist active and ongoing raid damage. Your goal then is to fit as many non-overhealing Vivifies as you can with Essence Font cast just before the buff ends. Beware that if you are using Jade Bond Conduit, or you hold your mana tea for too long, you won't be able to sync it up with your next Celestial perfectly. It all depends on the encounter, and you just may end up holding it for next Celestial. This is where previously mentioned knowledge of a fight comes into play. Obviously, some things that I just said about the rotation or abilities may change on different fights. For example, you won't be using Enveloping Mist spot healing as often on Huntsman as on Artificer Zymox, and Refreshing Jade Wind will be more valuable on Inerva than on Stone Legion Generals. And I think we're done here. This is as far as I can go without talking about each fight specifically. If you found this video useful, consider liking it or subscribing to my channel for more Warcraft related content. This was Jack from Spec, have a good one.